zombie apocalypse is real. It's happening right now. It's taking place in a delayed, slow motion fashion. And it's been designed that way. We are witnessing the controlled demolition of civilization.
InfoWars, tomorrow's news today.
I am going to lay out the 4 reasons this is happening and how we can stop it. But first, I want to show you 3 recent examples of senseless, psychotic crime being committed on the streets of America in just the last few days. Just days ago in Florida, a 16-year-old brutally murdered his sister and her young daughter before chasing police around a field completely naked, running up to a greenskeeper and demonically grabbing him and humping him and reportedly chanting satanic statements. What's causing this? We're going to get to that in a moment. Throughout history, in every oral and written tradition, every culture talks about times when the population begins to go crazy and to psychotically kill each other and to even eat each other. The ancient Romans talked about it, the ancient Greeks, the ancient Chinese, there's African fables. There, of course, are the Native American legends of these night walkers that would go out and grab humans and kill them. And of course, they themselves were humans that, again, had gone crazy. All of these legends have a basis in truth. And did you know that the Pentagon is publicly training for what they call a zombie apocalypse? We'll get to that again in a moment. But first, here's another horrific example. In Atlanta, Georgia, just 2 nights ago, an Uber driver was summoned to a woman behaving just like a zombie out of a movie. She attacks his car, tries to go through the windshield, then tries to steal the car. When he tries to stop her, she starts biting him and latches on like a pit bull. Again, right out of zombie lore. While onlookers look on and won't even help the man.
Somebody call police.
Yeah, we call. Oh my God.
Baby, you gotta stop.
Baby, you gotta stop. He gonna beat your ass.
Please stop.
I'm not doing nothing for you.
Oh my God.
I didn't call you. I wouldn't get involved, obviously.
I mean, that's his car.
That's it.
That's his car.
Get out my car.
Oh my God. I got.
Somebody catch her, man.
Yeah, I got.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Don't hit her.
Don't hit the dog. Don't hit the dog. Just. Come on, baby. You gotta. He biting the shit out.
Oh my God.
He biting the shit out of him.
Now, there are many other examples just this week, not just here, but around the world. But let's look at just one more from Georgia, where a family is walking with their young daughter and son down the street, and a out-of-work liberal artist, as she describes herself, quickly, like she's shanking someone in prison, almost completely chops the little boy's nose off and then stabs 2 huge wounds in his face. She then goes for the mother, goes for the little girl. The father tries to defend, and she tries to, again, stab him to death. The police acted like it was no big deal, and a lone female officer put her in handcuffs and walked her away. But the three events that we've seen just in the last few days are overshadowed by another shocking mass shooting, this time in Odessa, Texas. And as we go to press on Saturday evening, it's more than 10 people shot, at least one dead, a man reportedly driving around indiscriminately outside a movie theater and mall, shooting people. But whether it's a butcher knife or whether it's bare hands, it is the mind of these people that are going completely psychotic that is to blame. But what's triggering it? What's causing it? We're going to look at it right now, because we can take all the guns in the world. It's not going to stop Antifa devil worshippers like the man that attacked all those people in Ohio last month who went out to kill innocents. They're doing it to bring in a global crisis, a global collapse. But the lesson is crystal clear. Innocent, law-abiding citizens need to be armed to protect themselves now more than ever, and need to be vigilant. Watch your children, watch your back, watch your family, watch your community, because society is breaking down. Evil is rising. What's happening? Why is this intensifying? Why do the statistics show that senseless violence is on the uptick? I'm going to break down the 4 reasons right now. Number 1 is chemicals and electromagnetic radiation that is unnatural and has been proven to be affecting our brains. They approved Prozac back in the 1980s, and on the insert, it admitted that it caused a major increase in psychotic breaks, psychosis, delusions of grandeur, suicidal ideations, and homicidal violent attacks. And almost every senseless mass shooter has been on these psychotropic, so-called antidepressants that are in the hallucinogen class and put people into a dream state. Before so-called antidepressants, that I call suicide mass murder pills, were pushed on the public and adopted widely, women statistically in any criminology book were less than 2% of violent crime. Since women began taking these pills, we have seen a massive increase in women carrying out crimes that statistically you would only see men carrying out, including stabbing, shooting, drowning their own children. Federal government studies that have looked at the runoff of all of the massive amounts of these drugs flowing into the ocean from the Mississippi River shows that fish and other aquatic life like shrimp are now behaving like zombies and killing each other, and also showing suicidal behavior, where a small fish or a shrimp will actually come up to a big fish and attack it and then get eaten. Again, zombie-like behavior, not just in humans, but in fish, shrimp, and other animals. Again, the inserts of this entire class of drugs admit that it turns your inhibition off. And when you have an impulse to kill somebody or hurt someone, you carry it out. Number 2, all across the Western world, we see a belief in God, a belief in family, a belief in morals, statistically going straight down. And we see crime, corruption, people engaged in all sorts of oppression of children and other innocents skyrocketing. So, number 2, massive moral decline. Of course, number 3 is the most expansive. We could spend days on this subject, but we see a deliberate domestication of the population. We see drug addicts and others being encouraged to stay on the street. We have the so-called welfare state catering to all of this. And along with it in the blue cities, we have the general population that's law-abiding disarmed. So we have the increased gangs, the increased crime, the increased homelessness, which causes a hopelessness and causes the businesses and productive people to move out of the area, which then allows the blue cities to get even more federal funding and become bigger magnets for these armies of dependents that then come into the area. You add to that the fact that, again, the public has been disarmed, and you have a recipe for the complete collapse of civilization.
Did you ever see I Am Legend?
Yes.
Okay. Remember when all the fucking crazy zombie
Yeah.
people running at once?
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you, you can't believe the volume. There's so many tents on the street, and
Epidemic.
they're everywhere. I mean, you
They're
see
on
it.
fucking Lancashire.
Yeah.
They're on. You know what? They're in Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
On the streets, hiding on the underpasses.
Underpasses are stuffed with them now sometimes.
You know, I mean, we have to. And what are you gonna do with them?
You can't walk through those underpasses.
What are you gonna do with them?
Now, number 4 is the most important. When you read the UN Biological Diversity Assessment, Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, when you see AOC's Green Deal, that's just a repeat of that, it is the collapse of civilization. You don't have to work if you don't want to. Guaranteed income, free home, free transportation, free healthcare, free everything, but who pays for it? Again, that sells an idea that will turn the United States into Venezuela in very short order. So number 4 is our most important because this is all being done by design. Whether you're in Australia, whether you're in Western Europe, whether you're in Canada or the United States or Venezuela, these programs are carried out by multinational corporations who have a master plan. It's called a post-industrial world and a post-human future. But they've got to sabotage human development, remove systems that encourage civilization and culture so that the general world population collapses. City-states will then be formed by private corporations and consortiums that have advanced technology and have law and order. Everything outside of the city-states will be basically a lawless system. You may have heard of this before in fiction. Films like The Hunger Games and the book series it's based on is actually the UN Agenda 21 program to return the world to basically a feudal system, with the lords and the elites behind castle walls and the rest of us living the Hunger Games for real. This controlled collapse is already resembling a zombie apocalypse. And the Pentagon quietly started 15 years ago training Army, Marines, and other personnel in mass drills to repel zombie apocalypse. Now, why is that? US studies, Israeli studies, Russian studies, European studies from World War II show that within 5 days of no electricity or the breakdown of civilization, most people start committing crimes. Within 10 days, most people become homicidal maniacs. Within 15 days, 90% of people on average become cannibals. The other 10% either fight to the death or commit suicide. So again, it's been the London Guardian, it's been in NBC News. It was reported years after we first documented it that the military is training to take on zombie apocalypse. Well, you go, zombies don't exist. Well, no, not undead that are reanimated, but the general spoiled, out of control public that doesn't know how to grow tomatoes, doesn't know how to fix a car, doesn't know how to basically do any work. Within just a few days of the welfare debit cards not working, will turn into the equivalent of zombies. Or 100 million army ants that when they go through the rainforest and the Amazon, clear every twig, every piece of food, and eat everything in their way. This is a planned sabotage of culture, the planned takedown of civilization, so that the so-called elites can break away with their type 1 civilization. They've already decided humans are obsolete. They've already decided to merge with machines. The so-called environmental movement is a post-human global exterminist operation. I told you this 25 years ago. I made the film Endgame 11 years ago. Now it's the cover story at NBC News as they prepare you for the collapse of civilization. Being aware of this can reverse it. But the homelessness, the encouragement of the slacker lifestyle, the encouragement of letting crime build up in our cities is a time bomb that places like communist China do not accept because they don't intend to collapse. This is being done to us to demoralize us and prepare the West for total implosion. This report is critical to the future of civilization, the future of humanity, and your personal future and your family's future. The system censors us like no other because we've studied their operation and we know how to stop them. Please, however you can, share this video. Feel free to re-upload it anywhere you want. But whatever you do, please take action because without you sharing this video, we will succumb to this plan. But if you take action, we will prevail. Thank you all for watching. Please research the claims I've made, discover they're true for yourself, and please take action now. You can call these people that are succumbing to our toxic environment zombies. You can call them demon-possessed. But you can't deny the fact that this phenomenon is taking place right now. It's time to get involved. It's time to wake others up, and it's time to get on our knees and ask God to lead, guide, and direct us.
InfoWars, tomorrow's news today.
It's Paul Joseph Watson with Summit.News and Action 7 News. We're here in Hong Kong.
This is Savannah Hernandez for Infowars.com. I'm reporting to you from Hong Kong, where I'm joined by reporter Greg Reese for the next week.
This is Greg Reese for Infowars.com in Hong Kong. Our recent trip to Hong Kong was a new achievement for Infowars.com. Despite being the most banned broadcast in the free world, we continue to win because of our great, strong, loyal audience. We have Dan Lyman covering Infowars Europe, Paul Joseph Watson in the UK, Millie Weaver and Caitlin Bennett in the American heartland, and from Austin, Texas, a team of reporters and crew ready to be dispatched wherever the story is going down. We are not done winning, and with your support, we will keep winning.
We have to keep winning. We have to win more.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com.
You have gone to InfoWarsStore.com and gotten books and films and supplements and t-shirts and water filtration, air filtration, and things you need